Hello, and welcome to the WHSS video series on steps to gaining housing. My name is Dan Mills, and I'm the Housing Navigator. Today, we're going to discuss how to find housing and read a rental ad. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get into it. I work with a lot of people that tell me that they just can't find housing they can afford and end up spending a lot of money applying for housing that they will never get, costing them time and money they don't have. We need to stop this. First, look at what you can really afford and stop looking at anything out of your price range. If you need subsidized housing, please start there. Contact your local housing authority and ask what is available in your area. There are federally funded HUD and USDA housing options that you might not even know about. And there are others that are funded through tax incentives to developers. All of these have income restrictions and strict prerequisites like no sex offenders, no drug convictions, no felonies within the last 5 years, and no outstanding judgments to any other subsidized housing programs. So if you don't qualify, then save yourself some time and start looking at other housing options instead. For those of you who do qualify, the links to the Housing Authority Locator, the HUD and USDA programs are in the description. If you must find housing that you can afford elsewhere, then let's focus on those. Now, use the tools that you have available. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of apartment and housing search online sites out there. Use the ones that are popular in your area. If you can also look at local newspapers or just drive around and look for signs that say for rent. Maybe that's what works in your area. So let's talk about the rental ads themselves and what they really tell you. They may help you avoid some common mistakes that lead to trouble later. Here is an example that you may see on an ad for a rental property on any of the popular rental search sites. So let's dig into what the ad tells you and how to interpret it. You may see pictures of the unit. Some may even have videos or even virtual tours. Maybe later we'll do a video on what to look for in pictures and videos. But today, let's stick to what's in the ad. In this example, we have an address of the unit, and we can look up and see where it is in relation to the things that we need to have access to, like bus routes, schools, grocery stores, and employment. It also gives us the price of the unit, and in this case, the application fee and the security deposit. If the ads don't give you all that information, make sure you ask for it when you contact the landlord. Fortunately, this landlord's name and phone number is in the ad. If the ad tells you it's a property management company, then check out that property manager's website if they have one. It may have more information listed, and it will also confirm that the property is still available. Some of those research engines may have properties that are still listed that have already been rented, so it pays to go directly to the landlord to verify. This ad also tells us the square footage, and you can see that this is a studio apartment. That usually means that except for for the bathroom, that everything's in one room. So think about how much space you're going to need for your belongings and your living habits before you decide if the unit will meet your needs and before you apply. Some ads will tell us if pets are allowed, and remember, check out the video on emotional support animals and service animals if you have one of those to learn more about how they are different than pets when it comes to no pet properties and pet fees. Most listings will also tell you when the unit is available. If you need something sooner than the unit you are looking at, then I suggest you move on to another unit. If you're considering isn't available for several months, unless you have a plan in place for where you're going to stay until then. This unit also says it has air conditioning and heating. That raises a question. Is it included in the rent or is it just there? Don't assume anything. Ask. The same goes for the detached parking listed here. What exactly does that mean? As we continue down the ad, we see that it has carpet and a 1-year lease. There's not much else on this ad. We'll do a future video on questions you should ask a landlord when considering a unit. One last note on ads. Be careful of scams. You see some really good ads out there that turned out to be scams. So do your homework. Use multiple sites to look at properties. Search for the address on Google or MapQuest or some other online mapping site, or better yet, just drive by and look at the place if it's nearby. If the ad looks too good to be true, then there's a chance it might be a scam. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.